evening, viewers, wherever you are. Welcome, Joe, and welcome, Darwin.
Hi, Pat. Hi, Joe.
Hi, Darwin. Hi, Pat.
The usual gang here on Monday, the 15th of September, for another edition of SportsView. Now, for our viewers tonight, we're live on, where are we live? On our Facebook pages, their media page and my own page, and Limerick City Citizens and my Limerick. I don't know what else. Our producer behind the scenes is organising that. But anyway, fair play though. Anyway, we generally speaking, we start with soccer, with the Premiership, and over the weekend since we were here last, there were wins for Arsenal and Bournemouth, Fulham, Newcastle, Spurs, Liverpool, Man City. And I see, Joe, your old team, Grimsby Town, had a credible draw at home to Cambridge. You know, they came back well in the end. And our own Evan Ferguson is now playing with Roma. He came on just after half-time, but it didn't prevent them losing at home to Turin. So they lost 1-0. Anyway, that was the soccer. But I suppose for where we sat tonight, we sat tonight with a well-known Manchester United figure.
Tackling. Yeah. Try hitting somebody. Like the football's a physical game. We looked at all the stats in the Derby match there. Not one yellow card. And we're having the big build-up. The Manchester Derby, the it's raining. It's like set up for a few tackles are flying in. Oh, you physically, you're shattered. You shouldn't be able to get out of bed for a week after a tough game. And they're all walking off. There's not one yellow card.
Well, Joe, can you identify with that?
Yeah, well, you know what? It's just a funny game. You know, I mean, I really don't know what to say about them anymore. I think we've probably said everything that we can say about them and what they're doing. I mean, you know, you're looking at them and you're looking at the likes of Luke Shaw, probably at fault for all, or involved in all three goals that went in. You know, and it just seems to be. I don't know why he's still playing. I mean, I've seen now for the early part of this season and last season, and saw how he struggles. Yeah. You know, and to put him into a back three with his lack of pace is
against Doku.
Yeah.
I mean,
that was embarrassing to watch that. The way he went by him.
Yeah. The trouble with it, Joe, I've just driven home, right? Listening to 5 Live, and they're on a Monday night from sort of 7 till 8, they have what they call the Monday Night Club.
Yeah.
And it's all about football, basically. And they've got Paul Scholes on there tonight as a guest. And Paul Scholes literally turned around and said, I don't know what, you know, they were asking him questions about what do you think? And he said, I don't know what to think anymore. He goes, the system doesn't work. And then they played a clip that Amarin's done today in a press conference that he will not change his system because his philosophy is correct. And it's the players need to learn his philosophy. And like just on ballistic. Scholes is on the radio thing. It's actually well worth listening to because he's literally gone, when did he say that? This afternoon. And he's like, you've got to be kidding me. He goes, I can't get my head around that. He goes, the system doesn't work. You've only got to look at the players. He said it's a combination. There's players aren't good enough for it, and the system doesn't work.
Well, it doesn't work. You know, when you're asking a guy like Bruno Fernandes to be an up and down midfield player, you can't. That's not going to work for you. I mean, I was trying to think about it last week or 2 weeks ago when we were talking about and asking a question: has a 3-4-3 ever worked in England, and the only time it's ever worked was with Antonio Conte at Chelsea.
Yeah.
But he had defensive midfield players.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he did not have a guy like Bruno in the middle of the field, and you know, Ugarte. I feel sorry for that lad because he's there, and he's the only one that is giving it a bit of a go, and he's left. It's like the floodgates open when people come at him.
But it like what Scholes was saying is that when Scholes played midfield at United, he had Carrick, Keane, and Nicky Butt. Any one of those combinations next to him. He said all I had to do during the football match was listen to Roy Keane. Roy Keane told me, get back, hold it, stop, stay, go. He said all I did was listen to what I was being told by Roy Keane. He said if Keane wasn't there, I had Carrick. He said, and Carrick was the most underrated midfield player that United possibly ever had. He said because he wasn't the Roy Keane tackler. He said, but the game and how to run the game, Carrick knew it inside out, back to front. He said you've got Casemiro who just, it's not a case he can't run back, he just struggles to run back.
Yeah, he can't do it. You know?
He says you got Fernando, as in Bruno Fernandes, who doesn't even want to run back.
Right. So, and then you've got two wide guys that are never required to tuck in and do anything. So
he said you've got Mainu, who basically will be on his bike by January because he's not wanted.
Right.
Amorim made that clear. He's not a player for Amorim.
Well, I mean, how many creative players can he see out the door?
Well, I mean, I'm as a United fan. I sat there yesterday listening to it I didn't want to watch it. I just listened to it on the radio because I can't watch it because I end up screaming at the telly. At least with the radio, you've got sensible people making comments.
Yes.
But it was. I mean, I watched Match of the Day, the highlights, and like Scholes came out with something tonight on the radio that United had the most possession.
Yeah, they did.
He said, he goes, as a stat, he goes, you can have the most possession, but if you're passing sideways and backwards, it doesn't matter if you've got 90% of the game.
No, it makes no difference. Those
he said
stats
you've got a goalkeeper who is just totally out of his depth. He said you got Onana would rather be out playing in the World Cup qualifiers than being in a Manchester derby. He even said about Donnarumma. He said if Ferguson was still in charge and Donnarumma had come available, he would have bought him.
Right.
He would have gone, I'm having him. No one else is having him. I'm having him.
Right.
And Donnarumma wanted to go to United more than City because it's Man United. And United wouldn't pay his wages. And Scholes was saying that he got it from some inside source, that it was something like 50 grand a week is what they were bickering over.
Right.
I know
you've got two. He said you've got the two main goalkeepers at United. He said that it shouldn't even be there.
Right.
You've got a kid sitting on the bench who's come from Belgium. They've just signed him in. And he said, here's the example. Amorim, Guardiola. What does Guardiola do? Signs Donnarumma, you're in. You're playing. You're playing. What do United do? They sign this kid who's supposed to be really good from Belgium. Yeah, you're going to sit on the bench. You're not ready yet for a Manchester derby.
Well, there's only 4 or 5 games gone in the league, as we know, and Liverpool are sitting top again, courtesy of a penalty. Well, we must admit that it was a real penalty this time. that they got, and they got all 3 points. Burnley unlucky for a second time, and they had a very unlucky game against United as well, Burnley, that is. Arsenal on 9 points, Spurs 9, Bournemouth 9, Chelsea on 8, Everton on 7, Sunderland on 7, Man City on 6, and Man United are on 4 points in 14th place. So
Do you
they're
know? Do you know Amarin's record, Joe?
Yeah,
31 matches,
yeah,
8 wins,
yeah,
and he's won 31 points out of 31 matches.
yeah.
I mean, surely as a manager, you would be questioning yourself at this stage, wouldn't you, if you were in those shoes?
Yeah, well, yeah, you would. I mean, let's be very honest here. You know, you can be married to a system that you want to play, but if it's not getting you points every week, then it can't be right. And you have to start somewhere. You're Manchester United. You have to start getting points somewhere. And at some point, he's so stubborn with what he wants to do. At some point, one or two things is going to happen. They're going to continue the way they're going, and he'll be out of the job by Christmas. I mean, that's the be all and end all of it.
Yeah, I agree with you there because I mean he doesn't have the players for the system either.
If he's there, if he's managing Man United in January, I'll eat my hat because he doesn't even deserve to have the job right now, does he?
No, I mean, but no one else would get away with it.
No.
I mean, it just.
I mean,
it beggars belief.
Robbie Savage on 606 after the match, him and Chris Sutton. So Savage is managing Forest Green Rovers, isn't he?
Yeah.
So he turned around and said, if Forest Green Rovers get through to the third round of the FA Cup, he said, I want Man United in the draw because we'll be in the fourth round. He said, we can beat Man United. He said, Forest Green Rovers won on Saturday. And he said, I changed my tactics 3 times during that game of football.
But that's the thing that I don't understand, right? He's losing the game, and he's losing, 2-0 at this stage? Yeah. And he brings on like-for-like substitutions and plays exactly the same way.
Yeah.
So isn't that the definition of insanity?
You'd think so, wouldn't you?
Yeah. You keep doing the same thing over and over again and hope that something will change, but it never does, and it's not changing.
Having watched United since I was, I don't know, let's say 3 years old, right? But having been born and bred Man United, I actually think that what we're watching is the worst Man United squad since for 40, 50 years. Even when they got relegated in, what was it, 74? 74,
74. Something like that, yeah.
They were still better than this lot.
Yeah. No.
And it's wrong to say this lot because I think half of them, if they had anything about them, they'd be knocking on his door as a group and saying this ain't working.
And that's the thing with it, and I don't, I mean, I really don't know. As a player, when things were not going right for us on the field, when I was at Grimsby and I was a captain, I would change something. Yeah. I wouldn't wait for the manager to do it. I would do it on the field. And if it didn't work, then I had to tell the manager why I did that afterwards.
Yes. Yes.
And, well, this was happening, or that was happening, and I had to try and stop it. And that's your job. You solve problems on the field. You can't wait to be going in at halftime or to go in after the game or what have you, or sort it out on the training field. No, you've got to get points, and you got to be getting, you got to win games, and you got to change in the middle of it. So why? I mean, I'm looking at the leadership on that group, and are they all just afraid that he's going to bomb them out? Because half of them are bombed out already anyway.
Yeah.
Well, there isn't any player on the Man United team, just to finish up with Man United. But there isn't any player on that team that would strike fear into your heart if you're lining out against them.
Look, well, the only way I look at it, Pat and Joe, chip in with this. If you looked at the Man United players yesterday that were on the pitch, including actually let's even include the subs. Do any of those players get swapped? Would Guardiola be trying to get any of those players? Not a cat in hell's chance.
Nobody would.
I mean,
I don't think so.
We're behind Sunderland in the league. Now I know it's only 4 games in, but you're sitting there and it's like I don't understand it. It's like, what are you not seeing? Because at every point yesterday, I mean, let's face it, they could have probably knocked in 5 or 6 yesterday.
Yeah, they could. I mean, they were lucky to keep it at 3.
Yeah, and again, the highlights on Match of the Day, there was 2 shots from Man United in the highlights. One was that Bueno, which was actually a good save by Donnarumma.
That was a great save.
And as for the other one by whatever his name is, Stesso or whatever his name is, I mean, that was just a weak attempt, wasn't it? It was more like a back pass than a shot.
Yeah.
But you just sit there and, like, you just, there's so much space, isn't there?
SportsView is the program. We're going out live tonight, friends, and all the details are on the bottom of the screen for your comment. We take comments into the studio as well. There's a comment line there, and feel free to say what you like. And the email is there, and the phone number for text. So you can interact if you want. If you want to come on and leave off steam, you can. But we'll finish up with United for a while. But in the championship at the moment, Middlesbrough are tops. And they were in contention last year, as you know, for promotion as well. Stoke are going very well at 12 points. Bristol City, who were in contention for in the playoffs, are on 11 points. Leicester City are on 10. West Brom are on 10. And Coventry City are on 9. They were in contention last year as well for the promotion playoffs. In League 2, Swindon are top of the pile on 18 points. Gillingham have 18, Salford have 16, Walsall have 15, Grimsby Town on 14, and Bromley on 13. They're all the positions that are important in the league as well, you know. So just to move on for a minute to boxing, and we got the sad news over the weekend that two-time world champion Ricky Hatton had passed away at his home, and at a very young age of 46. Ricky Hatton was one of was an all-action gutsy performer, you know, and brought great excitement to all the fights he had, you know. He, as I said, he was world champion in 2 different weights, so he fought. He didn't avoid anybody. He fought the best of them. He fought Mayweather, and he fought what's his name for the Philippines? Pacquiao. Even though he didn't win those fights, at least he traveled and fought them, and he had a stellar career. And both his sons are boxers as well, and he had problems in his personal life, you know, but it was still a shock, nevertheless, to lose somebody at that very young age, you know. And he had a lot to look forward to, you know. But as the man said, if you have problems with your mental health, it's important that people look after you and, you know, and mind you, as they say, you know, mind you as well. But it's easy to talk, I know, it's easy to talk, but we were sad to hear the news of his passing. And it was a shock, all right. Now on the field of play, so to speak, I watched the match the boxing match Saturday night between Paddy Donovan here from Limerick fighting Crocker, and unusual results are still the name of the game in boxing. I mean, I won't say corruption because somebody might pick me up on that, but it's borderline corruption. I didn't say the word, did I? It was just a horrendous decision for anybody who saw the fight. I know he dropped Paddy in 2 rounds, but those 2 rounds, if people follow boxing, are only 2 rounds out of 12, and they would be scored 10-8 rounds in favour of Crocker. But to my mind, Paddy Donovan won 7 out of the 12 rounds. To my mind, and to the 3 professional boxers who were there commentating after the fight, also before the scores were announced, also, and I think some of the judges should have gone to Specsavers as well, as well as it. But the scoring, the 3 professional boxers that were there, all had Paddy Donovan as the winner, and it was as shocking now as someone. I mean, really, he was absolutely done out of the fight. There's no question about that. It was very sad, and he fought so hard. He's coached by Andy Lee as well. People remember Andy Lee as well. And anyway, that's Paddy Donovan. I hope he stays in the game, but that's also on Saturday night in was it Las Vegas? Crawford to beat Canelo, and he outboxed him completely. I think he won 11 out of 12 rounds completely. I think Canelo now should hang up his gloves, and because he doesn't need money anymore. Because I mean, they got something like $97 million or something like that for the fight. Horrendous money when you think about it, But anyway, and our own Aoife O'Rourke from Castlereagh, the Rose of Castlereagh. Aoife O'Rourke won the gold medal. She's a world champion in all the boxing world championships are being held at the moment in Liverpool, and she won a gold medal. She joins her sister Lisa, who won the gold medal 3 years ago. 2 sisters. They were saying it's the first 2 sister world champions in boxing.
Wow, that's a stat, isn't it?
Yeah, isn't it? Amazing.
Lisa, you call them out for a dance, would you?
Well, I think twice, maybe. Make sure I don't step on their toes.
Yeah, right.
Well done to Aoife O'Rourke, and she a classy operator, as they say. That was a classy operator. We had the Women's Rugby World Cup is continuing at a pace, and it's down now to the predictable last 4. Ireland were playing France in the quarterfinal. France beat them in a tight match, 18-13, and so Ireland exited. So now it's England. England beat Scotland 40 points to 8 in the other quarterfinal. New Zealand beat South Africa 46-17 in the other quarterfinal, and Canada beat Australia 46-5 in the other quarterfinal. So the closest quarterfinal was Ireland and France. Anyways, all of that means that it's England versus France and New Zealand versus Canada in the semi-finals of the Women's World Cup. But I must say, the best rugby action over the weekend were down under, the championship down under, in my opinion. The Pumas did it again. Argentina beat Australia 28-26 in an absolute cracker of a match. And New Zealand went down to South Africa 43-10. I mean, the South Africans were really up for the match. They're an absolutely fantastic team, South Africa. I mean, really, they're giants. Some of them are absolute trees, like a big tree in the middle of a scrum. I mean, they're immovable,
I mean, that the women's rugby, they've got to do a handicap system for some of these matches. It's not really. Some of these matches have not been a competition, have they?
No.
They've been trained, really.
It's been disappointing, There's too many bad teams in it. I suppose you could say the same now in the upcoming World Cup. There's 48 teams being qualified for the World Cup. It's all about money, as we know. That's what it is about. It's not about football anymore. It's about the money. And at the moment in the World Cup, I think for people, now these are the teams that are already qualified for the World Cup. Canada, who have no hope of winning it. Mexico, USA, Japan, New Zealand, Iran, Argentina, you give them a chance. Uzbekistan have no hope. South Korea have no hope. Jordan, Australia, Brazil, Ecuador, Uruguay, Colombia, Paraguay, Morocco. Most of those teams are qualified. Really, I don't say they shouldn't be there, but well, we can say one thing: Ireland will not be there. We know that for sure. Over the two battles they presided over, the draw with Hungary and the loss to Armenia. I was reading about Croatia and Ireland are much the same, but it's hard to believe it in population, and they have something like 260 top class coaches at senior soccer level, and we have 10 full time coaches in Ireland. 10. So it
Yeah,
needs a lot
that's
of.
bad, isn't it? Really.
That's just. Uh, I don't know what to say. Actually, I'll tell you one thing. If you find Irish soccer, for those who follow it, like myself, Kerry FC is only their third year in senior soccer, and they're into the semi-final of the FAI Cup, the second Premier competition in Ireland, and they came from 3 goals down, to beat Sligo Rovers 4-3. It's just like Grimsby and Man United now. This is like, and
If you think about it though, like with like you're saying about Croatia, football's not their number one sport.
no, no, it's not.
Yeah, if you think of like, I'm just going to say the British Isles and Ireland for argument's sake.
Yeah,
You'd probably still sit here and say that football's still the number one sport, wouldn't you?
you would, you would.
Even in Ireland, it's bigger than hurling, isn't it?
Well, soccer in Ireland is pretty well supported. The
Yeah,
league is well supported, not financially, but participation and attendance is well up now
yeah.
in recent years, and it's well up. And facilities have improved a lot,
Still probably
And
goes in the front of rugby and hurling and stuff, isn't it?
well, I mean, the GA would be the number one sport in Ireland, without a
Right.
doubt, without a doubt. I mean, I went down to a first round hurling match between Kentuck and Blackrock, and there was a couple of thousand at it. I mean, it's just an ordinary club game, on a cold evening, and that you'd be pulling the collar of your jacket up around your neck, and but still, after that, soccer is more widely played in Ireland than some GA. That's a fact. It's one of the easiest sports to play and get into. You just need two sets of courts and a football, and off you go on a field.
So, Joe, do you reckon like the likes of like Croatia and Serbia and what have you, is that just because they've got better facilities or coaching or?
Well, resources are gone into it.
Yeah,
It takes money, as you know, Joe. You grew up when they were tallying a goalpost in a field,
right.
and I mean, when you look at Fairview Rangers now, they're a junior soccer club. You look at Pike Rovers, they're a junior soccer club in Limerick. I mean, you look at the facilities they have, and their facilities are fantastic, and it's a testament of the people who are running the club, who are running it, that they have those facilities. I mean, I was at the Fairview Rangers Shelburne match in the FAI Cup, and I was absolutely gobsmacked by the facilities at Fairview Rangers ever since they put in the new stand. It's just magnificent. It's just a nice place to go to a soccer match. Even in the winter time, if it's raining and windy, you're sheltered. and it's very good. And that's down to the organisation of the club, but it's down to money as well. It's down to money.
But
So
the clubs themselves, though, that have, I mean, they're getting really very little help from the government or the FAI,
yeah, absolutely,
and the clubs themselves are the ones that are fundraising, and it's the committee men and the people involved at that level that are the ones that are pushing all this through, and that's the problem. Can you imagine? Darwin just saying there, Croatia has over 200 coaches. We have 10, right? And how many players are affected by those 200 coaches as opposed to the 10 that we have here, in Ireland? But I will say this: their governments are far more generous to their sporting. Uh, Ireland gives more money to horse racing and greyhound racing than it gives to any other sports.
Wow.
Yeah.
now when you look at a country like Qatar, who hosted the World Cup, they had no soccer team, they had no pitches, no stadium, and they hosted the World Cup. I'm not saying that's an example of anything. I'm just saying it's an
No.
example of what money can do.
Yeah, that's investment, isn't it?
Investment. They're invested in the future, not alone in soccer, but for the well-being of the community, the well-being and the health of their people.
I
You can
mean,
call it whatever you like, but in the
I mean,
long term, that will
Croatia
benefit.
fortune on water polo and softball.
Hmm?
Croatia's like main sports are water polo and softball.
Huh.
Yeah.
I would not have guessed that.
Yeah, I mean
I would not have guessed that.
I mean they spend a full. If you watch like the Summer Olympics, Croatia in the water polo, they're like either the favourites or they're the second favourite.
And Hungary have a very good water
Yeah,
polo record. Yeah. The time that Hungary beat Russia in the water polo, do you remember that?
when I say softball, I meant handball.
There was a big fight.
I mean, I find that really sort of like Joe's point. If you've got 10 coaches and you've got 200,000 playing football in Ireland, the ratio of coaching per head is massive, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Yes.
If you've got 200 coaches and you've got 100,000 people playing football in Croatia, then the ratio is much better. They're going to have much more contact, aren't they?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you know, Joe, Dermot, it's not rocket science. We have a couple of thousand national schools in Ireland. If each national school had one coach, just one, you know, keeping an eye out for raw talent, so to speak, and streamlining them into whatever, into a local team or whatever. That's all it takes, really. One dedicated person in the school.
I couldn't say about Ireland, obviously, but in the UK, sport at school's broken down. And I know when I was a kid, all I did was play football, cricket, rugby, table tennis, basketball. We were non-stop playing sport. Athletics in the summer, cricket in the summer, football, rugby in the winter, table tennis, basketball. And, I was lucky enough, and my brother was, that we played in the school teams, we played in the county teams, we played in the
Yeah.
borough team. We played for teams outside of that as well.
Yeah, yeah.
And when you look back to it, we were lucky. We went to a school that was very sporty, and if you were any good at it, my last year at school when I was sort of 15 or 15 and a half, I suppose, my last summer, I had 2 afternoons a week where I could go and play golf because they knew where I was heading.
Yeah. Yeah.
And instead of playing football and cricket and everything else, I would still play those sports, but my afternoon, if I wanted to, I could go and play golf that afternoon.
Yeah, and if you're out
And
on the course now, to
all of
take,
that's broken down, isn't it? And
yeah. Well,
it's
the whole fabric,
definitely broken down.
the whole fabric of you being sent out of the house, out of the way, and come back before it gets dark, and have you on
Yeah,
you.
I mean,
That's all gone. That's all
I
gone.
mean, all three of us would have been out playing football in street
Right.
level.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Now, what do parents do? And I'm not knocking them, because you're not really supposed to say anything bad like this in life now anymore, are you? But they just throw an iPad at them, don't they?
Yeah, and a couple of earpods. Everybody I know today had earpods and their phone, and they're just walking around. There's very little communication. You have to shout at someone,
I
or give
was
a talk.
I was with someone the other day, just having a bit of a lesson with them, and this guy looked at me and he said, "I think we've had the best of it when you look at it nowadays. That you'd be brown as berries because you were outdoors all day long in the summer holidays, weren't you?"
You are. That's true. That's true. We had on the DP World Tour over the weekend. We had probably has it lost some of its luster, the BMW PGA Championship.
Uh, I
But there
think
was a
I think what's happened with pro golf is that Europe's it's lost its superstars. I'm a golf club. I sit there and I don't know half these people. You're sitting there like,
well,
I've never heard of him. I've never heard of him, and
well, Alex Noren. Alex
I'm
Noren won. Alex Noren, you'd have heard of him, like.
yeah, Noren won it 3 or 4 years ago as well, didn't he? The second
And
time.
the Frenchman was running in the playoffs. Salier.
Yeah, he's a good player.
I didn't see him before now, but he won. He won $1.53 million for his weekend. Shane Lowry finished at -8, which are 11 shots behind, and in the BMW. There's an awful lot of good golfers. Ram, Till Hatton, Patrick Reed. There was a lot of very good golfers in the field, So it
I mean,
was a decent.
it's still a big event, but they're murdering that golf course now. I mean, they're driving it down the hill, down the first. I mean, that's 300 plus yards to reach the top of the hill. They're knocking it down the hill. The last time I played in the PGA Championships, I ripped the drive off the first tee in the PGA, and I hit 3-wood to the middle of the green. Sadia yesterday, wedge in there.
Wow.
I mean, 17 and 18 were two big hits to knock it on the green in 2 as par 5.
Yeah.
They're knocking it on 17 with iron. They're knocking it onto 18 with mid iron.
What does that mean?
Changed. I mean, the game has changed. I mean, Wentworth, the West Course at Wentworth was always known as the Burma Road because it was so long.
Yeah.
That was its nickname, the Burma Road.
Yeah. Bomber Road, yeah.
It was just monstrous. I mean, it was like 7,000 plus yards. And it was long. And we played it in May, and we had a bit of bounce in the fairway.
Yeah, good weather.
They're now playing it in sort of mid-September, and it was wet over there. So the ball wouldn't have been running. Yet they just demoralize. I mean, they're hitting wedges into 11. 11 was always like a driver mid-iron, par 4. 12, the par 5.
Yeah.
I mean, so all the par 5s that Wentworth now are par 4s.
Because of technology catching up?
Yeah, I think it's ball technology, club technology, and the biggest one, as much as everybody wants to say it's the ball and everything else, the players are athletes.
They're fit.
Oh, they're really fit. They spend more time in a gym than they do hitting balls.
Yeah. None more so than Scotty Scheffler, who won in America again.
He's just a machine, isn't he?
He just, he's
I mean,
just.
what was he 4 behind going into the final round?
It doesn't seem to matter to him how many he's behind anymore. He just he was
Did he win it by 5?
he was asked how did you win it? Well, he said, I just kept my head down. I didn't look at the scoreboard, and I just kept making birdies.
Kind of not a bad way of doing it, I suppose.
Yeah.
That's where I went wrong, Joe.
Yeah.
I kept looking up. I kept looking up at the birdies, but I kept making them. But anyway,
Yeah.
he won over. He won over $1 million for his efforts, and one victory over the weekend I really liked, and because I think she's very good. That's Charlie Hull.
Yeah.
She won over in America, and 68, 65, 67, 68. Charlie Hull beat Titico from, but she had the winning of the tournament, but she just stumbled at the wrong time. So Charlie Hull won at minus 20, and she won $300,000 for her effort. But she's very good for the game. Natalie Ward was third at minus 18, and in the ladies' European Tour, we have 2 young Irish golfers who were second and third. But there's Alice Hewson from England won that at minus 13, and Lauren Walsh was on minus 8 at second, and third was young Sarah Byrne. She was minus 7. Just finished with the golf there, and this was very good. And as I said, getting back now to the soccer. Let's look at this man from I think he's from Talk Sport.
Premier League predictions. Here's a 1 to 20. We don't even know the end of the window yet, but who cares? Let's put the neck on the block. Bottom of the table, it's going to be Burnley. I'm afraid they won't get away with that defensive strategy again. Also going down with Burnley are Wolverhampton Wanderers. They'll finish 19th. You don't lose that quality and survive. And I'm putting Brentford in the bottom 3 as well. Same reason you don't lose that quality and survive. So just above the dotted line, Nottingham Forest. I just don't think they'll be able to cope with the European campaign as well. West Ham, I think, are going to be in 16th place. I think they'll struggle. I think Graham Potter will have difficulty getting his methods across. Just above them in 15th, I'll put Bournemouth. Again, there's a bit of quality missing, and pre-season I don't think has been particularly special. Sunderland, I think, will survive, and it looks like they're going to do all right from my point of view. So I've got them just above Bournemouth. And then we're heading into mid-table. Fulham, I've got just above Sunderland. Leeds, I think, will cope, and they'll survive, and they'll thrive as they did last time they came up. So I've got them in mid-table. Just below Brighton, however, I've got Crystal Palace to finish above Brighton and Hove Albion. Everton are just above Crystal Palace. I've got Spurs to go from 4th bottom up to 8th. 7th will be Aston Villa. 6th will be Newcastle. Manchester United are going to be 5th in the table. That's a bold prediction. Liverpool to finish 4th. Don't at me. Manchester City to finish 3rd. There's a lot of recovery work to do there. I've got Chelsea to finish 2nd, and they will just be edged out of the title by Arsenal. So, at long last, Arsenal are finally going to win the title.
Yeah, you are now.
Not sure about that one.
Yeah, he is Man United.
He's drugs, isn't he?
Yeah. I think, you're looking at Nottingham Forest now, and he's not far off there. I mean,
well, there's a manager that's available now to Man United, the former Nottingham Forest manager, if they want to talk to him.
Yeah, there's only what I honestly, if I owned Man United, there's only one person I'd be having a chat with.
Roy Keane.
Yeah.
Roy Keane. And
I'd say to Roy Keane, you can pull in whoever you want as your coaching staff. Nicky Butt, get Scholesy out. I don't
Wayne
care.
Rooney.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what,
Well, Wayne Rooney has his coaching badges as well.
They need a kick up their arse, don't they?
Yeah.
And I think Keane, I actually think if he was offered it, I think he'd find it hard to turn it down.
Oh,
I'm not sure he wants to do the everyday stuff though.
no.
I I think he actually liked it when he was
An
assistant with the national team.
yeah.
Uh,
He said that publicly, hasn't he? That he loved
yeah,
being too for Ireland.
yeah.
Well,
So yeah, there's some guys that just don't like the day-to-day running of a football club. So
I
uh,
just think that the pull would be too much for him.
it might be, but you know,
I think if you went in as an assistant to the Nottingham Forest, this former Nottingham Forest manager, it could be a good team for United this
yeah,
time.
it's
Something's got.
I really think that's hard. Uh,
Over the weekend,
there's so much missing in it. I mean,
yeah,
realistically, I mean, you're looking at having to practically replace your whole defense and midfield
Goalkeepers.
and goalkeepers. You
shit.
know, and where are you going to get those players from to do it?
Well,
You know,
they've got to be running into the situation now that if you did have players that were available that would be up there, are they really fancying Man United or
well, that's
you go if you got Joe, you're at the top of your game. You've been offered Man United, Man City, Liverpool, or Chelsea. Where do you go?
well, I think you'd be going to Liverpool.
Yeah, you wouldn't. Man United wouldn't.
Man
Well,
United
in
wouldn't.
that list,
No.
wouldn't it?
All,
I mean,
all the commentators from the BBC got their heads together over the weekend, and 7 of them went for Liverpool to win the Champions League. 7, and we had 2 went for PSG and 2 for Real Madrid to win the Champions League. It didn't start yet, but it'll be starting soon. You know, I like the new format in the Champions League. I think it's very good.
I mean, realistically, I honestly don't think it's beyond the realms of reality that United could go down.
well, if things keep going like they're going,
I didn't check the bookies what the odds are.
No, but you look at it and you think, like I'm a mad keen United fan. I'm sitting there thinking, are they really going to turn over Sunderland? Could they beat Fulham? Could they beat Leeds? Well, I mean, they've got Chelsea coming up next, haven't they?
Will they
yeah,
beat Forest Green Rovers and go?
No, but you know when you do sit there and think to yourself, well, I mean, Sunderland aren't mugs, are they? Leeds aren't mugs.
no. Brentford. I mean, Brentford
Yeah.
again yesterday.
Brighton.
Brighton are a tough team. Yeah.
Yeah, you're sitting there looking at
Bournemouth
teams
are a
going,
tough team to play against.
who can they really beat? And I can't. I'm struggling to name one. That you where you go, oh, they'll beat them all day long. I mean,
It's
it
going to be
wasn't
tough.
that ago that you would actually go. You wouldn't even doubt United not winning, would you?
No.
I mean, it's not that long ago, but I think there's got to be so much more as well. You know, the stadium's crap; it's falling apart, and I honestly thought Radcliffe was going to be really good for United, but I actually think he's just as bad as everybody else that's gone in there.
So, what do you think, lads, of seriously of the ex Nottingham Forest manager going to United?
I'm not sure that Nuno is set up for that. I think he's already been at Spurs and he didn't do well at Spurs. He struggled there. So I mean, I think he's a good coach. Don't get me wrong, but I just don't think that that he's. But then again, I don't know who is because they've been through so many people now, and
Yeah,
and
I was
you're
gonna
asking yourself,
I was going to ask you the question, Joe. So you're back in football. You're managing a Premier League team. You're a mid-table finisher every year for the last 5 years. And Man United call you. You jump ship from Everton or Leeds to go to United?
I think there's still the lure of it.
Yeah,
I think
but you think
there's a huge there's a huge lure to it.
It's still a big job.
It's a huge job, you know. And I mean, let's be honest. It took Ferguson a while to get it going there, you know. And I mean, he used to go out on the Old Trafford pitch practically every day and look up and around him, and he said, "This is a big club. This is a big club." And you know, he had his issues to start off with his with people that he was signing. He wasn't making the best decisions, but then he had his time and he got it set up, and
he got 50 time.
Yeah, he got the time that he needed, and I don't think that there's that kind of time anymore. Especially when you've got the pressure of what City are doing, and then of course Liverpool on the other side. I mean, they're United's two biggest rivals, you know. And you look at them, and when you look at what's happening at Old Trafford, as opposed to what's happening at City now. I mean, Guardiola said yesterday, what did he do? He brought in 9 players, 9 new players. He brought in, you know, and it's taken time for him to settle in. And to be honest, I think United need maybe at least 7 or 8 new players to make a difference.
I mean, Christ, we're bringing on Maguire. We're bringing Maguire on with 5 minutes to go to try and get an equaliser.
Well,
yeah, Maguire,
because of his height.
You're not bringing on Ronaldo, are you? You're bringing on Maguire.
But that's what I'm saying, you know. You're in when you're throwing Harry Maguire in there, you're kind of in the last chance saloon. You know, hoping that he's got to score from a corner or a free kick.
Dion Dublin on Saturday, same comment at half time. No, not that. Yesterday, half time yesterday. He's doing the commentary for 5 Live, right? What does he say? He's counted 1 cross into the box in the first half from United, and he said all these strikers. He said, did Højlund get a fair crack of the whip because he never got any service?
Right.
He said, how many crosses have gone in from Doku? Just one player, let alone Foden, let alone
Bernardo Silva.
The Silva, right?
Yeah.
Who's their target man in the box every time? It's Haaland.
Yeah.
But they're crossing the ball to him.
Yeah.
1 cross to our centre forward. Like, he's going, I'd be pulling my hair out.
I wonder what do they be doing in the training field.
Well, I'm not 100% sure they know what it is, do they?
Well, I think you're watching it, what's happening on the training field. And that's what they do. I mean, you remember, was it 2 years ago? Or was it last year when Amarin's team played Man City and tore them apart?
Yeah.
Beat them, what was it, beaten 3 or 4-1 or something in Champions League. And I mean, that was a team that was playing the same system as this guy is playing now, but they had players that were getting behind. I mean, what's his name that went to Arsenal from there? Can't think of his name right now, but I mean, he was running the channels all the time,
not Welbeck.
No, the guy that
after
that played for that's at Arsenal. That's the centre forward, Jokeris. Is that his name? And he was running the channels, and he was just like tearing people apart. But and Ireland was willing to do that kind of work, but they never put balls into the space for him.
No.
No.
You know, they never let him do that.
And he's looking really good in Italy.
Well, you know, when you give forwards the ball, it's amazing what they can do with it. You know, if you give it to them in the right areas, but if you don't put the ball in there, what do you expect?
I mean,
You know?
when you watch that game yesterday, and like having only watched the highlights, and you're thinking to yourself, Haaland must think it's Christmas. He's got so much space, and the defenders aren't even strong enough to try and block him.
Right.
No.
And like what Keane said, for there not to be a yellow card in a Man United-Man City derby.
Right.
I mean, is there any fire in their bellies? Do they want to win? Yeah, that's what I think.
Who are they playing?
And that's the with it, you know.
I'm just wondering who are they playing next in the league. You know,
Chelsea, I think, isn't it?
Is it Chelsea?
I think it might be Chelsea. Yeah.
Yeah. We just is that at home?
No, I think it's at Stamford Bridge. But again, they'll lose to Chelsea.
Yeah, they will. Yeah, they will.
Chelsea have got speed and everything else. I mean, Shaw can't turn and run back anymore.
The Premier League next Saturday is Liverpool are playing Everton at 12:30, and then all the other matches are at 3:00. Brighton versus Spurs. Burnley are playing Forest, and West Ham are playing Crystal Palace. Wolves are playing Leeds. Man United are at home to Chelsea at 5:30, and Fulham are playing Brentford at 8:00. And Bournemouth are playing Newcastle on Sunday. Sunderland are playing Aston Villa on Sunday. And Arsenal are playing Man City on Sunday at 4:30 in Highbury, or what they call it something else now.
Emirates.
The Emirates. So there you are now. They're your fixtures coming up the weekend. So will Man United beat Chelsea, or will they get anything out of the game?
No.
I don't think so. I mean, if they give Cole Palmer the room that they're giving everybody else, they're going to be in serious trouble with that.
Pedro.
Yeah. I just don't see it, and I don't see
4-0 to Chelsea.
I think it could be 3, but I think it's the problem with United, and I don't know about you, Darren, but I can't see them keeping a clean sheet.
No. It does. You know, when you sit there and watch it, Joe, I know I've got on the soapbox a bit here tonight, but you sit there and you just go, I don't see how they're going to win.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And they go 1-0 down, and you can look at the players and they just go, oh, here we go. You know, if you go, and I know we shouldn't keep going back, but, you know, go back as far as you want. You know, if United went 1-0 down, you probably had Nobby Styles going apeshit. You would have had Eddie Creran going mental. Then bring it forward a bit. You would have had Martin Buchan going nuts, wouldn't you? Brian Greenoff going loopy. Then go again. Robson. I mean, imagine putting Robson and Keane in that team.
Yeah,
they'd be scrapping with their own players, wouldn't they?
Oh yeah,
they'd be tackling their own players.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's like, you know, rose-tinted glasses and all the other silly analogies and comments, but you sit there and, like, you know, you go look. I've just given you. I've gone from the 60s up to the sort of 80s and 90s.
As you say, Darwin, it's no joke. Some of these players are getting £500,000 a week.
Well, it's just. I mean, if they. I mean, again, if I own Man United, they'd all be on performance related. If you haven't run 6 miles, you haven't completed 30 passes, I'm taking money back. If you haven't had 10 shots at goal, I'm taking money back.
Well,
And if you
and
don't like it, go and play for someone else.
we've come to the end of another show. Gents, it's been nice having you along, and we wish all the teams the best, including United, the very best for next weekend. And from Joe Waters, Derwin Horn, and myself, until we meet again next Monday night, take care, guys, and have a good week.
See you, boys.
Take care, lads. See you next week.